A lot of people have been asking me what's my opinions on The Last Jedi. Here goes. Hey, I'm Retro Ritchie. I'm sending all my love to long ago. Okay, so last Friday I went to watch Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. And instantly, as I came out, I was subjected to this major backlash. I think that's the best word to call it, that's come out. I've never known a film to be split down the middle so much. I've had films in the past where it's been, God, that's awful, to, it's not as bad as you think, it's okay. Or films that is fantastic, best film I've ever seen, to, it's not as good as you think, it's alright, it's not that good. But this film, you either say, I've had people go, this is rubbish, this is the worst one in the franchise, to other people going, this is the best one since Empire Strikes Back. So it's really a, if you pardon the pun, light and a dark side. It's literally a 50-50 split. So people have been asking me what I thought of The Last Jedi. And to be honest, I enjoyed the film. I really did enjoy the film. Did I think it was fantastic? No, I thought it was good. Do I think it's the best Star Wars film going? No. Do I think it's the worst Star Wars film going? No. It's pretty much down the middle. There are a few problems. There are really good things in the film, really bad things in the film. There's a few problems, and then there's a few things that I thought might happen that happened. There was one particular scene. By the way, I'm going to give you a bit of a black screen now because I may slip into spoilers in this. So I'm going to just throw it out there that there might be spoilers in this. So there's a black screen coming on now. If you don't want to see any spoilers, turn off now. Okay, if you're still here, then obviously you want to hear the spoilers, or you've seen the film and you don't really got it. So yeah, there's a few things that got spoiled for me. I watched the interview on this morning, thank you Hollow Willoughby by the way, where she announced that a little green friend, Jedi Master, might appear. And that scene, I really loved that scene, I thought it was really good. I went watching it with family and my cousin turned around and said, why didn't they use the CGI Yoda? The puppet one just looked fake. I think there'd been more of a backlash if they had used the CGI Yoda. I think the fact that they used the puppet and that it resembled the one from the Empire Strikes Back made more sense personally, but I can understand in this day and age with the audience, people just expect CGI. My major problems with the film is the length. The length is too long, and I think a lot of people have said this, it is way too long. Why they had to make it 2.5 hour film? What, because every other film out there at the moment is 2.5 hours? It is too long. The biggest problem I had with the film was the characters of Rose and Ray. No, sorry, not Rose and Ray. Sorry, Rose and Finn. Their storyline went absolutely nowhere. The whole, don't get me wrong, the scenes on Canto Bright were nicely shot, great effects. I kind of like going to different planets and seeing different things, some things we've never seen before. That was good. But the whole storyline of theirs, it literally went nowhere. You could take them two characters out of the film and it exactly be the same film that without them. Kind of like the Indiana Jones thing of Indiana Jones, but this is a lot worse. So yeah, you could take Rose and Finn out and the film would be exactly the same. They had no crucial elements to the plot of the story. Well, I say that, they do make things worse. Maybe that's the only thing right at the end. They do make things worse. So that they may have a little thing with the storyline. A lot of the things I think the fans have kicked off with why they don't like this, and this is my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. This is what I see. I think a lot of people didn't like some of the answers to the questions. The answer, for 2 years since The Force Awakens, people have been asking the questions, who is Rey's parents? Who the hell is Supreme Leader Snoke? And in this you find out Rey's parents are nobody. Nobody. They're just two bums who sold her for drinking money. She isn't nobody. She's not a Skywalker, she's not a Kenobi, she's not a Pegasus or whatever you want to call it. She's not anybody. And I don't think fans like that. I think fans will talk about that, but I don't think fans like that. I'm getting a bit short circuit here. The other thing was the Supreme Leader Snoke question, which never got answered, but it didn't care because he was in half. He was literally lightsabered in half. And so the character is now pointless. There's no point answering who he was because he's surplus to the story anymore. So I don't think fans like that one. I also don't think fans are a bit too keen on the ending. I know some people who didn't like Han Solo being at the Force Awakens, and there's quite a few people who won't like the Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi death at the end of this one. So possibly that one. But I do think the biggest problem with The Last Jedi is the runtime. It is too long. You could have took out the Finn and Rose story, trimmed the fat up a bit, and then it would have been a little bit more better. I wouldn't say it would have made a lot more better, but it would have been a bit more better. A lot of other people have the scene of... so again, I did warn you there would be spoilers. You should have switched off. If you're still here, your fault. There's a scene where Leia gets sucked into space, and then it's the first time we ever see her use the Force, and she manages to force her way back into the plane, glide her way back into the plane. And a lot of people have had a go at that one. Some people have said, oh, it's the Superman 4 scene of The Last Jedi. If you don't know what Superman 4 is, we're talking about the scene where Lacey goes into space with Nuclear Man, and somehow she's still managing to breathe, you know what I mean? So some people have called it that. And I did a bit of research, not a lot, and it's you could survive in the vacuum of space for about 15 seconds, according to most scientists. But some believe that you could go up to 30 seconds to a minute. Now, obviously, this is sci-fi. You realise this isn't real life, right? There is a chance that if she had done it quick enough, she could have pulled herself back into that ship. If she was strong with the Force, it does make sense in a certain degree. So, to be honest, looking back on that scene, I have not that much of a problem with it. When I was in the cinema, I went, this is a bit Superman 4. Even I thought that. And I thought, this is a bit... But then thinking about it, and I think it could compare it to being underwater. If you drown in, you automatically would just try and get to the top as much as you can. If she thought it was an instinctive reaction, she would have just grabbed hold of the finger and pulled her back into the ship. So, I don't have a problem with that one. One of my favourite scenes, and I think another person I spoke to had a problem with this one, was the flashback scene of Luke killing or trying to kill Ben Solo, Kylo Ren. Someone said it was a bit out of Luke's character, and to be honest, at the time I thought, ooh, that's quite thingy. And then when I thought about it, and he said, oh, he got scared, and he was scared because he was scared. He got into this thing, and he had to kill him, and it kind of reminded me of a certain scene in another Star Wars film. This one.
Afraid to lose her, I think.
What has that got to do with anything?
Everything. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. I sense much fear in you.
If you compared that line to exactly what you see Luke do, it makes sense. Fear leads to anger. Luke gets scared that Kylo Ren's going to be this big evil. He can sense the evil in him. The anger turns to rage. He wants to kill Kylo, and then Luke suffers for the entire rest of his life because of that one moment. And fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to the suffering. And that is exactly what happens to Luke. And it's... And I really like that. I don't know if Rian Johnson had that in mind when he did that, and it just kind of fit a bit better and stuff. So yeah, there was really good scenes. I loved the lightsaber fight between Kylo Ren and Rey and the Snoke Scareds. That was quite good. I liked this slight standoff, subtle references that you should have got at the ending with Luke Skywalker and Kylo, when you realise that Luke's not actually there, he's still on Acto, and you think to yourself, hang on, I should have figured that out. Poe says, how did he get in the first place? All them guns fired without actually injuring him. And it's one of those, duh, you should have realised that he wasn't there all along. And it's a really good scene when you think about it. But like I said, you have these really good scenes. But because it's so long, and it's such a long film, and you've got this other storyline going on, those scenes are really good, but they come far and far apart. So I can see why certain fans might not like The Last Jedi. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I don't think it's one of the best, but I did enjoy it. So yeah, that was my little review of The Last Jedi. I am looking forward to episode 9. I do. The way this ended, I'm kind of curious to where they would go, because unlike Empire Strikes Back, it doesn't leave on that much of a cliffhanger, this one. So going into a third act, I'm a bit confused, to be honest. Your whole idea of a trilogy is the first act, the second act, the third act. The first act is the beginning, the second act is the middle bit, drawing to a conclusive third act. The first act, this is another thing with a lot of people turning around and saying a lot of the questions from Force Awakens wasn't answered. This is the second part of a third act film, you remember, a third act play. Part 1, part 2, part 3. Usually we don't get all the revelations or the conclusions until the third act. I don't know whether people were expecting some kind of big announcement like I am your father or I am your brother or something like that. But this is the second part of a 3-act play. So you're not going to get all the answers in this one. However, usually it does end with some kind of, we'll bring you back. Kind of like how The Force Awakens left on a literal cliffhanger. I thought this one might have left on a bit of a cliffhanger as well. But no, this one seems to wrap a bit of the story up. This is kind of like the ending to A New Hope, where Force Awakens was the ending to Empire Strikes Back. Everything's been swapped about. So I'm very curious to see where episode 9 comes to. I'll tell you one thing though, I have a prediction, and I could be wrong about this, but you're calling The Last Jedi now. Wait till the Han Solo film comes out, and then we'll see how good The Last Jedi is. Because I have not got any expectations on that one. I hate to say it, and I don't judge films before they come out, but I didn't think it was a film being needed to be made. Well, that was my last Jedi review. This is just a personal opinion. If you didn't like it, that is up to you. You didn't like it. If you loved it, again, if it's up to you, good, you loved it. Me, I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was fantastic. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was fantastic, but I didn't think it was bad either. So yeah, that was it. So I'm going to sign off now by saying today's to come.